I know I'm about 12 hours late into making this video, so I'm going to make the predictions quick, and at the end of the predictions I will talk about some of the top news from the world of Formula 1 which is not related to the Silverstone Grand Prix. The first prediction is that Ferrari are going to have a Ferrari weekend, and the reason is there is a chance of rain, 60%, 60%, and it will be a typical Ferrari weekend which will begin by getting our hopes high up. The first practice session has just took place and Lewis Hamilton has topped the timing sheets, which means that we are on the course of enjoying a typical Ferrari weekend. There will be high hopes. Both of the Ferraris will qualify within the first two rows. Charles Leclerc will probably have the upper hand over Lewis Hamilton because he is usually better at qualifying. But we will see how that pans out. And in the race, the weather will play a role, and then everything will go to shit. So Ferrari will have a typical Ferrari weekend. Another thing is Yuki Tsunoda is broken, and that's why Red Bull will also have like a question mark weekend. In this pre-race press conference, Tom Clarkson asked Yuki like what was the problem which caused Yuki to have a shit weekend in Austria, and this is what Yuki has to say. It'll only be for a few seconds because I don't want to get copyright striked. Just hear the words coming out of Yuki's mouth.
Issue in the race was me. Um,
That's tough. This is the latest sacrifice that Red Bull has done in order to feed the ghost that keeps Max Verstappen's talents alive. So, congratulations to Red Bull for killing another driver, and this is shameful and sad because this is Yuki's last year in Formula 1, and it's unfortunate that it's ending this way. And talking about Red Bull, you cannot make a decent prediction about these guys because they don't even know where their car is going to perform. If you listen to what all of the drivers have said in this video, everybody says that we are gonna struggle in this section or we're gonna be strong in this section, except for Red Bull drivers because them motherfuckers don't even know themselves. Until the last run in Q3 by Max Verstappen, you will never know where the Red Bull is gonna end. Oscar Piastri summarized this best for all of us. He was asked about how confident you are going into the Grand Prix and whether it'll be a battle between McLaren drivers for the win of the race. This is what Oscar Piastri had to say about Red Bull.
Red Bull, honestly, you never really know, but
That's the best assessment of Red Bull because truly they themselves don't even know. And now obviously speaking of McLaren, these guys are the favorites. One of them is going to win. And last year they made some fucked up strategy call mistakes, and I hope that this year they don't. And I want Oscar Piastri to win. If you don't know, I am on the Piastri bandwagon, and I want him to beat Norris and everybody else to win the World Championship. And especially I want him to win the Silverstone race because Norris won the Melbourne Grand Prix. It's time to get some revenge back. We move on. Williams. These guys will also have a very difficult weekend because Alexander Albon in the pre-race press conference had said that they still quite don't know what issues are causing them to DNF so much. They roughly know where to look at in the car. Translation, they don't know shit. I have a little bit of amateur motorsport experience, and I know when people and engineers and drivers say that we roughly know where to look at in order to find the issue that's bogging us, they don't know shit. So another difficult weekend for Williams, it looks like, which will give opportunities for these two motherfuckers to score some points. Liam Lawson is finally back. He has recovered from the depressive episode that happened to him while he was Red Bull driver, only for 2 Grand Prix, but that was heavy. But finally he is recovered, he is back to his old self, he's quick, he's fast. Isaac Hadjar was on course to score some points in the Austrian Grand Prix, but he picked up some floor damage probably between turn 6 and 7, some shit like that. I think these two guys definitely have pace. This track is going to suit them. Like many other teams, they have also brought some floor upgrades to the Silverstone race, and this year their upgrades are hitting the mark, unlike Red Bull. So it'll be fun to see how far up these two motherfuckers can take their car, Racing Bull. I am predicting a P7, P8 for both of these two guys. I don't know in which order these guys will finish. Yes, I am predicting that both of the Racing Bulls will finish in the points. A lot of people are curious as to what Max Verstappen will do if he drives the V-carb. The thing is, even if it's legal, Red Bull will never do that because that would expose the true pace of Red Bull. Like, let's say for a race weekend, they put Isaac Hadjar in that Red Bull and other car is driven by Yuki Tsunoda, and both of them are like P19 and P20, whereas Max Verstappen in the Racing Bull is P3. To avoid the embarrassment, we will never get our curiosity satisfied as to what Max Verstappen do in this year's Racing Bull, which is a shame because it's a great car. But we move on. Next, we have unfinished business between Gabriel Bortoleto and Fernando Alonso. Towards the end of Austrian Grand Prix, these two motherfuckers were engaging in a melee. I would give the advantage to Bortoleto on that occasion, but unfortunately the race leaders were lapping these two guys and there were blue flags and the laps were ticking down, and he didn't want to risk his first ever points finish, so he didn't take as many risks as he could have. We have some unfinished business, and Saubers, both of the Saubers, Nico Hülkenberg and Gabriel, will be battling Fernando Alonso for P9, P10, those sort of positions. Lance Stroll, as usual, P17. We move on. Haas. Little bit of biased prediction over here because I hate Esteban Ocon, so I'm gonna say Oliver Bearman is going to qualify P16 and Esteban Ocon will qualify P13, but then he will fuck himself by strategy during the race and Oliver will not, and hence he will finish P10 or something like that. I want Oliver Bearman to finish in the points. It's been a while. Now here are some of the top Formula 1 news outside of the Silverstone Grand Prix. Duncan Elliott has been recently poached by Lawrence Stroll from Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula 1 team. He was the head of composite design throughout their dominance era, and now he is going to be the chief designer in Aston Martin. It seems like all of the pieces of the puzzle are going to be at Aston Martin to deliver Lance Stroll a championship winning car, and we are all excited to see what Fernando Alonso can do with it. Up next, we have Lewis Hamilton challenging how Ferrari works, and this is the best thing that has ever happened to Ferrari because so far people will just adopt themselves and kill a part of themselves to work the way Ferrari likes to work, which is a shit and inefficient way, which doesn't lead to any victories. But Lewis Hamilton is not bending over to the Ferrari way of doing things, and he is changing things around. So he is talking about what happened in Austria. In Austria, we all heard the radio discussion between like Lewis Hamilton and the dumb fucking idiot Riccardo Adami, right? He's not a dumb fucking idiot, but when it comes to communicating with the drivers efficiently, he's a fucking retard. When the drivers ask him a question, he gives some obscure answer. That's why he is a retard in fucking communication. Anyway, during the Austrian Grand Prix, there was this back and forth between Lewis and Ricky, and Lewis wanted to try the one stop, and Ricky motherfucker was like, no, we have to box. He was not giving any context, any information. And this time, Lewis Hamilton, like after he jumped out of the car, he said like, I don't want to get to a point where I'm ignoring you, and Lewis will do that. He don't give a fuck about what teams say. This is the energy we need. Lewis Hamilton is the perfect driver for Ferrari because he is the only one who is going to break the mold that is constantly defeating Ferrari by themselves. Ferrari have an autoimmune disorder in which they get in their own way. It's like your own body's immune system is killing yourself. Lewis Hamilton is the antidote. He's gonna fix that shit. Or we will see the death of another legend. Who knows? Sauber have opened a new technology center. This is just a small update. Audi is coming in, pumping in a lot of money. The future is looking good. 3 back-to-back points finishes for Nico Hülkenberg. Still didn't get any of the Driver of the Day award. I'm pretty mad about that. And the last race, both of the Saubers were in the points. Things looking great for these motherfuckers. Don't be surprised if Jonathan Whitley was not the only Red Bull engineer these guys have poached. I think they have a lot of money. I think more talent is coming out of Red Bull, which means Max Verstappen and Mercedes could happen. Next, we have McLaren revealing their chrome livery special for 2025 Silverstone Grand Prix. I hope they can keep this for all the other remaining races of the season because it just looks cool. It is much better than the entirely papaya painted car. And I know that they have done some, shit liveries in the past, but this one is the best. You gotta give them credit where credit belongs. If they can make it entirely out of chrome, it'll be even better, but I doubt these motherfuckers will do that. Their new identity is papaya. Tell you what, it's a shame that the race weekend is cloudy and probably gonna rain because this will look sick under the sun. Next, we have Max Verstappen revealing the shit tendencies of the car which were unaddressed since 2024. We already know about this. Toto Wolff had a printout that Red Bull's car is shit for many years at this point, but we are just right now finding bits and pieces of the information. And Max explains, I think we're trying to find more performance in the car, duh. But also, of course, last year we were a bit hurt with our balance issues that we had in the car. I hate seeing Max Verstappen in a tractor. I hate him speak like this. He knows that the team has fucked up. He knows they have been fucking it up since the departure of Adrian Newey. He needs to go to Mercedes, man. Pull the fucking plug. These guys, Red Bull, are not in a good trajectory. If Mercedes were having a bad year, you can still see that all the other ingredients like the stability of the team, the amount of shit controversies that is coming out of the top leadership, these things are not there. So if any team that can turn around a slump quickly, that's definitely not Red Bull, because right now many good engineers have left and they're just now struggling. Right now they have a car that only one driver can drive, and frankly Max Verstappen can drive any car. If Max drives the Mercedes of today in the Silverstone Grand Prix, I guarantee you he is going to put that car on the podium. That's all I'm gonna say. The Mercedes is a much more stable car. The team is going in a much better direction. Not Red Bull. You cannot say that about Red Bull. This is the best time for Max to jump ship and go to a team with a better development trajectory into 2026. You had a good time, man. You had a good time with these guys and it was awesome. But things need to move on. These motherfuckers don't learn from their mistakes. They don't even accept their mistakes. So that's all there is to say. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.